everyone, welcome to HW News. It is not unusual for US President Donald Trump to wage war against someone, be it online or offline, be it his opponents or China. This time it was Twitter. The social media giant enraged the US president so much that he has signed an executive order which might make life difficult for social media companies, including the Twitter. But the issue is not limited to US itself or the spat between Twitter and Donald Trump. This could have a wider implication on the social media platform and its millions of users across the globe. Let us first understand how did it all start, and then we will come to the issue of the executive order signed by Donald Trump and what it means. Twitter versus Donald Trump. 2 days ago, US President Donald Trump posted 2 tweets regarding mail-in ballots. His tweet came as the country nears a presidential election which Trump is confident of winning. The leader has 80.4 million followers on Twitter and uses it regularly to criticize his opponents. He tweeted, "There is no way that mail-in ballots will be anything less than substantially fraudulent. Mailboxes will be robbed, ballots will be forged, and even illegally printed out and fraudulently signed." Now, moreover, he also tweeted singling out the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. Now, he further tweeted that the governor of California is sending ballots to millions of people, anyone living in the state, no matter who they are or how they got there, they will get one. That will be followed up with professionals telling all of these people, many of whom have never even thought of voting before, how and for whom to vote. This will be a rigged election, no way. That is what the president wrote. Now, Twitter came in the picture as it added a fact-checking link below his tweet. It added a blue exclamation mark flagging the tweet for being potentially misleading. A link that said, "Get the facts about mail-in ballots," that linked to a page titled, "Trump makes unsubstantiated claim that mail-in ballots will lead to a voter fraud." Now, the page included details on the president's false claims and links to articles from publications including the Washington Post and CNN. Now, this was for the first time that Twitter had fact-checked US President Donald Trump. This was done as per the new policy of Twitter, which was announced in June last year. Twitter had made it very clear that it would, in some cases, tag notices onto tweets from the verified accounts of government officials, elected representatives, and those running for office who had more than 10,000 followers. Now, Donald Trump reacted by saying that Twitter was interfering in the 2020 presidential election and completely stifling free speech, and that as a president, he would not allow it to happen. Trump's campaign manager, meanwhile, said that we always knew that Silicon Valley would pull out all the stops to obstruct and interfere with President Trump getting his message through to voters. Partnering with the biased fake news media fact-checkers is only a smokescreen Twitter is using to try to lend their obvious political tactics some false credibility. There are many reasons the Trump campaign pulled all our advertising from Twitter months ago, and their clear political bias is one of them. Now, Donald Trump also said that Republicans feel that social media platforms totally silence the conservative voices. We will strongly regulate or close them down before we can ever allow this to happen. Reacting to the threat, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey said that if there is someone ultimately accountable for our actions as a company, then that is me. That means Jack Dorsey. He said, "Please leave our employees out of this, and we will continue to point out the incorrect or disputed information about elections globally, and we will admit to and own any mistakes we make." Now, this is what Jack Dorsey tweeted. He further said that this does not make us an arbiter of truth. Our intention is to connect the dots of conflicting statements and show the information in dispute so people can judge for themselves. More transparency from us is critical so folks can clearly see the reason behind our actions. But US President was in no mood to let this spat de-escalate. What he did next was sign an executive order that aimed at reducing the protection which was extended to the social media companies like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The executive order that Trump claims will stamp out alleged anti-conservative bias, but it could drastically impact how companies like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube can moderate content on their own platforms. Now, this may also potentially limit their ability to remove harmful or misleading content for fear of losing a privilege. This privilege shields these social media companies from being sued. These privileges come under Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act. The law was passed in America in 1996, on which the modern web has been built. It gives social media companies the ability to moderate speech while maintaining that they are not legally responsible for the comments which are posted by their users, which is a privilege that traditional media publishers don't enjoy. The executive order passed by Trump says that if social media companies do anything to discriminate against the users by removing their post or block their accounts without a fair hearing, then this privilege should be completely revoked. Now, the fact is, Trump can't change the law through his executive order. Only Congress, the US legislature, has the power. Instead, the executive order calls on US regulator, the Federal Communication Commission, to reinterpret the law. Now, what happened after he signed the executive order? Most of the social media giants rallied against it. Facebook said in a statement that the order will restrict more speech online and not less. Twitter called it a reactionary and politicized approach that would threaten the future of online speech and internet freedoms. But then, today, the Twitter versus Trump spat got uglier as the social media platform put a public interest notice on one of the Donald Trump's tweet on Minneapolis violence after the death of George Floyd. The social media platform on Friday covered one of the president's tweet with a notice for violating its rules about glorifying violence. The tweet could, however, be viewed on clicking the notice, but Twitter had felt it was in the public interest that the tweet should be accessible as per the notice. Now, how would Trump react to this? Will the fight go on? We will have to wait for Trump's next tweet maybe. Do let us know what you think in the comment box below. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in.
हमारे घरों में भी बच्चे होते हैं जो हमसे प्यार दुलार की आस करते हैं।
हमारा भी जीवन साथी है जिसको हमारे ड्यूटी से घर आने का इंतजार होता है।
हमारे घर में भी एक बूढ़ी माँ है जिनके लिए आज भी हम ही आंखों के तारे हैं।
लेकिन हम हमारे घरों में नहीं हैं। आपकी सुरक्षा में कोई कसर न रहे, इसलिए हम अपने प्रियजनों से दूर हैं।
हम में से ही कुछ तो अब इतने दूर जा चुके हैं कि वो वापस अपने घरों को लौट भी नहीं पाएंगे।
हमें गर्व है कि हमारे कंधों पे मुंबई शहर के नागरिकों की सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी है। हमारे जज्बे और बलिदान को व्यर्थ न जाने दे। इस संकट के समय में आप घर पे रहे, सुरक्षित रहे।
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
हमारे घरों में भी बच्चे होते हैं जो हमसे प्यार दुलार की आस करते हैं।
हमारा भी जीवन साथी है जिसको हमारे ड्यूटी से घर आने का इंतजार होता है।
हमारे घर में भी एक बूढ़ी माँ है जिनके लिए आज भी हम ही आंखों के तारे हैं।
लेकिन हम हमारे घरों में नहीं हैं। आपकी सुरक्षा में कोई कसर न रहे, इसलिए हम अपने प्रियजनों से दूर हैं।
हम में से ही कुछ तो अब इतने दूर जा चुके हैं कि वो वापस अपने घरों को लौट भी नहीं पाएंगे।
हमें गर्व है कि हमारे कंधों पे मुंबई शहर के नागरिकों की सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी है। हमारे जज्बे और बलिदान को व्यर्थ न जाने दे। इस संकट के समय में आप घर पे रहे, सुरक्षित रहे।